asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness unto light. Lead us from death to immortality. Om. Peace, peace, peace. And another chant. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Prana Chakshu Shrotramatho Balamindriyani Cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryang Mama Brahma Nirakarod Anirakaranam Astu Anirakaranam Mestu Tadatmani Nirateya Upanishatsu Dharmas Te Mai Santu Te Mai Santu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May my limbs, speech, vital force, eyes, ears, as also strength and all organs become well developed. Everything is the Brahman revealed in the Upanishads. May I not deny Brahman, may not Brahman deny me. Let there be no spurning of me by Brahman, let there be no rejection of Brahman by me. May all the virtues that are spoken of in the Upanishads repose in me who am engaged in the pursuit of the self. May they repose in me. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste and welcome back. It's a final session, but not really final in that sense, because the whole idea was to create interest and excitement about the Kena Upanishad. So that was the whole idea. Today what I'm going to do is following on from where we left off yesterday. And then I hope to touch upon what I feel is the climax, the grand vision which the Kena Upanishad leaves us with, and a tremendous view of what we are and what this universe is. So that we'll touch upon that and conclude. Remember where we left off yesterday, that careful, analytic inquiry into our own experience. So it's inquiry into ourselves, but what we mean by ourselves is our experience of ourselves, our experience of life. And then we did what was called an experiential knowledge session. It was knowledge, but also hopefully, as far as possible, we tracked it in our own experience, step by step. And now we are left with a feeling, hopefully, that yes, I get it, what you're talking about, what the Upanishad is saying, what Vedanta is saying, I am pure consciousness. Do you feel you get it? If you say, yes, I get it, you might be surprised at what the Upanishad does next. It says, if you think you've got it, you haven't. Those who feel we haven't gotten it, you are safe. You say, I didn't get what was going on yesterday, you are safe. But you felt, yes, it was great, I got it. Well, you're going to get a shock now. Now, the Upanishad, as usual, always dramatic. What the Upanishad does now is a test. The teacher says the teaching is complete, now let me test. And the test is also very difficult. It's almost an impossible test. And the student comes out of the test with flying colors. That's just the entry into today's, what we have in the menu today. And then we will get onto the main course after that. But first the test and the students' reply to the test. The teacher asks a question. Do you feel you have realized Brahman? Do you feel you are enlightened? It's a trick question. Because if the student says, yes, now I know Brahman, now I know who I am, the teacher will say, didn't you hear what I said? It is other than the known and other than the unknown. And if the student says, no, I'm sorry, I take it back, I don't know who I am, then it's failed. The whole goal was to know who you are. There's no way out of this. Either you're enlightened or you're not enlightened. If you think you're enlightened, well, you have not heard what was said. You cannot know Brahman. You cannot know the Atman. You cannot know pure consciousness. You think, I am pure consciousness, I have known it. Whatever you have known is wrong. And if you say, no, I don't know it, then you have obviously failed, because you're not enlightened. The goal was to become enlightened. Here's the question. Yadi manyase suvedeti dharam evapi nunam tvam vetha brahmano rupam yadasya tvam yadasya deveshvatanu mimamsyam evate manye viditam. The teacher asks, if you think I have known Brahman well, it's clear, confident, then you have known very little. You have known very little of that pure consciousness which is expressed in this universe. The language is very little expression that it has in the human body and little expression that it has among the gods. Basically, Brahman as the reality of this universe, you know very little of that. And I am pure consciousness, that also you have not realized clearly. If you say that I have known it, I have become enlightened, I realized it, you haven't. Then what do? Well, Brahman is still to be deliberated on by you. He says, Mimamsya mevate. So this word, Mimamsa, is an ancient word, a Vedic, it's what might be called Vedic hermeneutics, interpretation of Vedic texts. The Sanskrit meaning, the definition is Pujita Vichara, a reverential inquiry. It's reverence. When you hear reverence, it sounds like you have to believe it, faith. No, it's inquiry. You must inquire. One must grasp it, otherwise it doesn't work. So one must inquire. And yet the inquiry is not free thinking. It's not skeptical inquiry. What is free thinking? I will think using reason and wherever it leads me. No, not wherever it leads you. There is something being pointed out here. And we are expected to see that, what is being pointed out. So there must be that reverence, that what is said here is true. It is real. I'm trying to get it, what is being said here. And also not a skeptical inquiry. What is a skeptical inquiry? I know this is wrong, or more or less I have a feeling all this is wrong. I'm going to find out the defect in it. Not that kind of inquiry. The inquiry is, where am I? Why am I not realizing it? Where am I getting stuck? Ask those questions. Get it clarified. Mimamsa, pujita vichara, reverential inquiry into the teaching. And the teacher says, you have to keep on doing this. You have to listen again, and reason again, and question again. The student is, however, very confident. He said first, I've known it. And the teacher said, no, you haven't. You're wrong. Think again, inquire again. And the student again says, Manye Viditam, I think I've known it. And you can imagine the teacher raising his eyebrows. This guy is incorrigible. I keep telling him it cannot be known, and he keeps saying, I've known it. What do you mean I've known it? And the student says, wait, let me explain. And he gives a masterful answer in the next mantra of the second chapter. How have you known it? And the student says, Naham manye suvedeti no na vedeti vedacha yonas tadveda no na vedeti vedacha. The student says, I am not saying that I know Brahman. So you don't know it. But not that I don't know. I do know it, and I don't know it. What do you mean? And then the student confidently gets up and says, amongst us, all the other students, you can imagine all the other students scratching their head, what's going on here? He says, those amongst us, including you, O Master, and all the students, who have understood my statement, that I do not know it, but I know it. They know it. So the students are scratching their head, what's going on here? But the teacher is very happy. Teacher says, yes, this person has understood the teaching perfectly. See, what the student has done is masterful. He has basically repeated back the teacher's teaching. What was the teacher's teaching? It is other than the known, other than the unknown. Now, if he had just said it's other than the known, other than the unknown, the teacher would have said, you are just quoting me. You don't understand what I meant by that. There's a beautiful incident, the great philosopher Wittgenstein, who is probably one of the leading philosophers of the 20th century. So he had this way of teaching. He used to teach at Cambridge University. Basically, his teaching, when he was teaching, he was creating philosophy. It's not that he was reading a textbook and coming and teaching. No. He was questioning all that had gone on before him. He would stand in front of the students and he would struggle with it. Yeah. Once his sister asked him, they were a brilliant family from Vienna, Austria. His sister asked him, why are you so intense, as if you're suffering so much all the time? And he said, you are like this person who is safe and sound in a mansion. Outside there's a storm. You don't see it, but you see outside there's a man who's bent like this against the wind, pushing against the wind. You don't see the wind, you don't feel the wind, the storm. You're asking, why is he walking like that? So he would do that, and he would teach. And whatever he would say, if and ask, did you get it? And somebody said yes, and he would say, no, you haven't got it. The next class he would say, no, this is not what I said. Then one of the students was very, said, I'll catch him next time. And so he wrote down exactly what Wittgenstein said. And next class he repeated it back to Wittgenstein. And Wittgenstein said, no, I didn't say that. He said, sir, you said it. Here it is, exactly these words. Then Wittgenstein said, but you don't mean by those words what I meant by them. So the teacher can say to the student, if you just repeat back, it's other than the known, other than the unknown. Yeah, I said it. You are saying it, but you don't understand what is meant by that. Instead of that, the student put it in another way. From his own experience, he put it. What did he say? It is not that I do not know it. So it's not that I am not enlightened. I am. But it's not that I know it also. I cannot say that I know it because it's not an object of knowledge. But I cannot say that I do not know it because who is not aware of being aware? We are conscious. So now one might say, all right, I am also conscious. I agree, I am conscious. So am I enlightened? No, because you can't say the other thing. You can't say the other one which the student said, unless you are enlightened, that I do not know it as an object. If you know it very clearly that I am pure consciousness, but it's not an object, it's not something that you can see or visualize or think about or express in language, then it might be that you are beginning to understand. And that kind of understanding and realization are the same thing. Somebody asked, what is the connection between intellectual understanding and realization? Is there a connection? There is. Is it the same thing? Not literally the same thing. There's a difference. There's a similarity and there's a commonality and a difference. What's the commonality and what's the difference? Understanding intellectually is not realization. But the deepening of that intellectual understanding is realization. Only with the condition that it should be translated into life also. It should be able to live it. Then it is realization. Then it's Jivan Mukti. But is intellectual understanding necessary in this path of knowledge? Yes, it is necessary. That is the path, in this path. Not much understanding may be necessary on the path of devotion. Practice is necessary. Not much understanding may be necessary in the path of meditation. Practice is necessary, and the practice itself will give you understanding later on. But here, you have to start off with clarity. Otherwise, this will not work for you. So the student says, I know and I do not know as well. And the teacher catches what the student is trying to say. He's basically telling me what I taught him. It is other than the known and other than the unknown. It's literally the same teaching, but paraphrased. And it shows the student's native, inner, intrinsic realization. So the teacher is very happy. But then he sees all the other students scratching their head. What's going on? I know and I do not know. If you know it, then you don't know it. If you do. So the teacher says, let me explain to all of you. So he explains. The next verse is also very interesting. So look at the language. Language of paradox. Language of contradiction. Teacher says, or the Upanishad says, whichever. Yasya matam tasya matam na vedasa avijñātam vijānatam vijñātam avijānatam. Yasya matam tasya matam. The one who says it is not a matter of knowledge, that one knows. Who says I do not know it, that one knows. And the one who says I have known it, that one does not know. For avijñātam vijānatam, it is unknown, that ultimate reality, it is unknown to those who know it, and it's known to those who do not know it. That's the explanation. I'm sure that's very enlightening. I don't know what was the reaction of the students to that. Yeah. All right. So, this is a long discussion. Why did the teacher put that question, and what was the purpose of that question? After all, isn't it good that the student says, I know it? Why would the teacher contradict that? Why would the teacher doubt that? And the answer is that the Atman, pure consciousness, our self, is certainly not something to be known. But it's not something unknown either. Remember, it's other than the known and other than the unknown. It is your own very self. It is more than known. It is more than known. Sri Ramakrishna, when Vivekananda asked him, have you seen God? He says, yes, I have. As I see you, even more clearly. What is even more clearly? Did he need glasses? No. This Atman, our real nature, is the most obvious of all things. In fact, first this one and then anything else. Vivekananda says it is not something to be known. In a talk here in London he gave, he said, it's not something to be known, but you must not go away with the idea that it is unknown. It is more than known. It is first that is known, and indeed through that everything else is known. It is the light of all lights. That shining, everything else shines. By its light, everything here is revealed. So, this is all a way of trying to clarify. The commentator says that isn't it, what was the purpose? He says the teacher asked this question, Shishya Buddhi Vichalanartham, in order to shake the understanding of the student. So why would you want to shake the understanding of the student? Isn't it good that the student has understood? You're a teacher. No. In order to make it even more clear, even more firm. And he gives the example, the commentator gives the example of when you drive a pillar or a post into the ground. What do? You drive it in, you shake it, and then drive it in further. You'll maybe lift it up a little bit and drive it in further. Why are you lifting it out even if you want to drive it into the ground? Because you want to drive it in deeply, more firmly. So he questions the understanding of the student, shakes the conviction of the student, and the student replies with full conviction, and the teacher certifies, yes, you have got it. Now, really another even more dramatic turn will come. It seems very subtle. Some of you are looking puzzled. I know, if I know it, then I don't know it. If I don't know it, then I know it. What does it mean? If you just step out of the Vedanta society, there are hundreds, thousands of people passing by the street. They don't know it. If you ask them, do you know Brahman? They'll say, no. What are you talking about? So are they enlightened? They don't know it. Are they enlightened? No. This is an advanced teaching. It's meant for those who have studied Vedanta, done the analysis. Yesterday, we did that, the experiential knowledge. So that analysis which you have done, you've done it thoroughly, you have a clarity about it, then this medicine is to be applied. That is what is meant by dropping the mind at the last moment. After clarity has been attained, remember there is a seed of the mind still there. If the clarity is clear, it's very, I get it it's very clear. It's still the mirror which is reflecting the truth. Now you have to drop the mirror. If the mirror has shown me my face, and I know my face is not that one and this one, my face is this one, not that one, not what I see, but that which is reflected in the mirror. Once I know that, I can happily dispense with the mirror. If I don't know it, if I think that is my face, now if I let go of the mirror, it's gone. Those who say, I've got clarity, but I must hold on to that clarity. No, you must not. What is holding on to that clarity is the mind. If you think that is the clarity, then its clarity has not been attained. The mimamsyam evate. Once again inquire. Until absolute clarity comes, I am in no way dependent on the mind. You can let go of the mind. The mind is like the mirror reflecting my face. My real face, my existence, this face does not depend in any way on the mirror or the reflected face. In the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna says something mysterious. I still have not understood the context, but I think I'm relating it to this one. I'm taking liberty. He says, If I keep on looking at my reflection in the mirror, people will think I am mad. There's no context there. Suddenly he said, at one point we must let go of the mirror. The reason we are hesitant to let go of the mirror, hesitant to let go of the mind, is somewhere deep inside we think we are the mind. After all the analysis which we did yesterday, I remember in Kankal, Haridwar, we were sitting with Ramananda Saraswati. We were sitting there. One young monk said that I am Brahman. At least that we must hold on to, isn't it? And the Swami said, that's what you must not hold on to. You must not hold on to that. All that we learned yesterday and the clarity we got, isn't that that's the knowledge, right? That's the payoff. That's what we must take away from this. That's what we must hold on to. And the Swami is saying, that's what you must not hold on to if you want to be enlightened. Why? That's the reflection in the mirror. It's very close, but it's still far away from the reality. It's still the mind. In Hindi, he said, "Wahi to pakad ke nahi rakhna hai." The student asked, "Aham Brahmasmi, pakad ke rakhna hai na, Mahatma ji? I have to keep on holding on to I am Brahman, right?" He says, "No, that's what you must not hold on to." But whom is he telling? The one who has got clarity. The one who has already immersed in Vedanta, not the beginner. The beginner says that I must listen carefully to the Vedanta teaching, right? And in the beginning itself, if the teacher says, no, that's what you must not listen to, then finished. Vedanta is gone. One must listen attentively. One must reason rigorously. And one must meditate sincerely. After that, once clarity is, this is a very advanced teaching. Let go of the mirror and its reflection. All right. It all sounds very subtle. If you know it, you don't know it. If you don't know it, you know it. Now he will reverse it. The next one is the topic which I want to talk about today. He gives the grand conclusion of the Kena Upanishad. Pratibodha viditam matam amritatvam hi vindate atmana vindate viryam vidyaya vindate amritam iha cheda vedit atha satyamasti no chediha vedit mahati vinashti bhuteshu bhuteshu vichitya dhira pretyasmad lokadamrita bhavanti. These are the last two mantras of the second chapter. What has he said here? Something quite stunning. Brahman is really known when it is known as the self of each state of consciousness or each experience, let us say. Because thereby one gets immortality. Through one's own self is acquired strength. Through knowledge is acquired immortality. If one has realized here, then there is truth. If he has not realized here, then there is great destruction. The wise ones, having realized Brahman in all beings and having turned away from this world, become immortal. Okay, what has been said here? Sort of the completion of all the teachings. To make it more dramatic, what has been said here is, just imagine, till now we were told it is the eye of the eye, ear of the ear, mind of the mind. The eyes do not go there, the speech does not go there, the mind does not go there. It seems so subtle, so difficult, so abstract. And then we are told it is other than the known, other than the unknown. So abstract, it seems so difficult. And we are told that the teacher then makes it even more difficult. If you think you have realized it, you have not. If you think you have, then you must inquire further. And the student gives a very subtle answer that I don't think that I have known it, but I don't think that I do not know it either. And the teacher clarifies, quote unquote clarifies, it is known to those who do not know, and it is unknown to those who know. All this makes it seem so subtle, so difficult, so removed from our day-to-day experience. Now see what he says. Pratibodha viditam amritatvam hi vindate. This statement is an amazing statement. What he says is, for the enlightened one, in every experience Brahman is revealed. With eyes closed, with eyes open, in every seeing Brahman is seen, every hearing Brahman is heard, every tasting, every touching, every smelling, every thought, every expression of speech, All the time Brahman is being experienced. You are immersed in this ocean of light. You can't get away from it. Pratibodha viditam matam. For the one who is fully enlightened, experiences Brahman, realizes Brahman, sees Brahman in every experience. Effortlessly. Choicelessly. Has no other choice alright, I have become enlightened, I have enough of Brahman. Now let me get back to my job and the people and this body and my taxes. No. If you get back to this world, it will be job Brahman, people Brahman, tax Brahman, body Brahman, all the time. Wherever, whatever you experience, whatever you see, hear, smell, taste, touch, Brahman. Whatever we think, whatever we do, Brahman. We chant, before food. Brahmarpanam Brahmavi, Brahmagno Brahmanahutam, Brahmeva tena gantavyam, Brahma karma samadhina. People say, when I'm meditating, I sort of get it. When I listen in the class, sort of I get it. But the moment I'm outside, when we get busy with the world, then Brahman is gone. No. Krishna says to Arjuna in the middle of the battlefield, the instrument with which you are pouring oblations into the fire, think of a Vedic fire ritual. The spoon with which you are pouring, it's not a spoon, it's Brahman. The oblations, the offerings you are pouring into the fire, it's not offerings, it's Brahman. The fire into which you are pouring offerings, it's the offerings. It's not fire, it is Brahman, the one who is pouring. What is meant here is the action which you are doing is Brahman. The one who is doing the action is Brahman. The instruments with which you are performing the action, it's Brahman. Whatever action it may be. It could be serving food to somebody, it could be driving a car, working on a computer, whatever it is, or worshipping in a temple, whatever it is. Every action, you are surrounded by Brahman, you are immersed in Brahman. You cannot get away from Brahman. You have no choice in the matter anymore. Choicelessly, effortlessly, instantaneously, everywhere, all the time. With eyes open, with eyes closed. In waking, in dreaming, in deep sleep, it is light, light and light shining alone. This is Pratibodha Viditam Matam. What a wonderful thing. We will dive into this a little bit and then wrap up. Okay. This is, and then what happens after that, we will see, I'll touch upon it. But this is the peak, the grand climax of the Upanishad here. The final realization. Before diving into this phrase, I'm just going to talk about this particular phrase, Pratibodha Viditam Matam. What is enlightenment? When you experience Brahman in every experience. Pratibodha means in every experience. Which experience? Any experience. Spiritual, secular, good, bad, whatever. Sensory experience, mental experience, actions, meditation, whatever. Jogging, whatever. In every experience, when you experience Brahman, experience that limitless consciousness, being, existence, bliss, effortlessly, choicelessly, instantaneously, then your enlightenment is complete. And the result of that is immortality, immediately, here and now. Which means, basically, we already are immortal. That just becomes clear to us. Okay. Before diving into this teaching, Pratibodha Viditam Matam, in every experience Brahman is shining. What could be the alternative explanations of this phrase? So Shankaracharya gives us a couple of them. There are 2 or 3 very interesting alternative explanations. These are all preliminaries. Before you see the movie, they show a trailer, a teaser, trailer, so a little bit of teaser or trailer. This is not the real meaning, but also very nice meanings are there. 3 alternative meanings, then we dive into the real meaning. What are the alternative meanings of this phrase? Brahman is really known when it is known in every experience. One meaning is, the word Pratibodha is the key. Pratibodha in Sanskrit, it is the key. One meaning is awakening. Actually in Sanskrit, Pratibodha simply means waking up from sleep. So here it means waking up from the sleep of ignorance. From the sleep of ignorance. So Pratibodha, it means enlightenment. Waking up from the sleep of ignorance, enlightenment. That's where the name the Buddha comes from. In the book Religions of the World, Houston Smith, in a chapter on Buddhism, he talks about how the Buddha attained enlightenment, and he was walking to Sarnath where he gave his first sermon. On the way he meets this shepherd boy who looks at his face and is taken back by the expression, the luminosity, the peace which he sees on the face of the Buddha. If you see the face of such a one, even for one moment, your enlightenment and eventual freedom is guaranteed. Maybe in this life, maybe in the next. Now nobody can just see once. So he sees the Buddha and he asks, not who are you, but what are you? Houston Smith comments there. The author says that many people have been asked, we are all asked, who are you? What's your name? Who are you? Very few people have been asked, what are you? What are you? Are you a god? The Buddha says no. Are you an angel or a messenger of the gods or something? No. Are you a human being? The Buddha says no. Then what are you? He says, I am the awake. I am Buddha. I am the awake. Meaning thereby the rest of us are sleeping or daydreaming or sleepwalking. So awaken. That's one meaning of pratibodha, to wake up. Enlightenment. But that's a preliminary meaning, not the real meaning. The real meaning is stunning. The second meaning is to awaken someone. So the Guru awakens us. That's also pratibodha. In Dakshinamurti Stotra it's there. Yo bodhayatyashritan. The God in the form of Shiva, Dakshinamurti, the southern facing Shiva, awakens us. That's also the meaning of pratibodha. The Guru awakening the disciple. That's another meaning of pratibodha. A third meaning of prati means opposite direction, inward direction. So pratibodha would mean turning inwards, turning our knowledge inwards. See, the whole reason why we are unenlightened is our fascination with the outward. So one of the preconditions of enlightenment, in the Kathopanishad, it is said, Kaschid dhira pratyagatmanam aikshat avritya chakshur amritatvam icchan. Some qualified teacher, sincere seeker, attained enlightenment about our inner self. How? Avritta chakshu. Covering the eyes. What is covering the eyes? That is turning our senses, our attention inwards, not outwards. That is also another meaning, possible meaning, grammatically, of pratibodha. And all of these are beautiful meanings. 3 meanings I have said. One is to become enlightened. That's pratibodha. One is the Guru enlightening someone else. Pratibodha. One is turning our attention inwards into who am I? Pratibodha. But these are very childish stuff compared to the real teaching. What is the real teaching? The real teaching is our real self, who we are, Atman, Brahman. This consciousness is available in every experience. Every experience points back to consciousness. I mentioned this story a number of times. This happened in Haridwar, in India, where there was 1 or 2 days camp on Vedanta. And many speakers, scholars and monks came and gave long talks on Vedanta, and the people were listening. The problem with the president of the gathering is that the poor president has to sit through all the talks and also has to give the talk at the end, by which time everybody is exhausted. So the president, who was apparently a great monk, a great teacher, he stood up to give his speech at the end. And people are already bored. I mean, they had sat for 1 day or 2 days, several sessions. So they were all getting up and leaving. And the teacher, this Swami, stood up and said, it's all right, you can go. There won't be any more speeches. I'm not going to give a speech. I'm just going to give you enlightenment. And people turned around and they came back and sat down. That's what we are here for. Yes, tell us. At last. We've been hearing all these long speeches. And it seems that so I have not seen this, was long before my time. The Swami took out his cloth, like this cloth he was wearing. He held it up like this. What do you see? And people said, cloth. He said, yes, but also you are seeing the light reflected from the cloth. Whatever you are seeing, you are actually seeing light. In the same way, whatever we experience, whatever the object of experience is, we are experiencing consciousness. It is like this. When I see anything, when I see a man, what are you seeing? A man. What are you experiencing? A man, a woman, a child, a dog, a cat, a chair, a table. These are what I'm seeing. But all of those experiences are in and through because of the eyes. So whatever I am seeing, in one sense, I am experiencing the eyes only. The object of the vision is there. They are all different, various, but common to all of them, the basis of all those experiences are the eyes. Isn't that so? It is the eyes which enable vision. But notice something peculiar about the eyes. You can't see the eyes. I can see you, and I can see him, and I can see her. I can see the chair. I can even see this light and the ceiling and the floor. But the eyes which are doing all the seeing, they can't see themselves. What is the experience of the eyes? When are you experiencing the eyes? You are experiencing the eyes when you see anything. When are you experiencing a chair? When you are seeing the chair. Are you with me? When are you not experiencing a chair? When you are not seeing the chair. But whatever you are seeing, you are experiencing the eyes. Similarly, whatever we are experiencing consciousness. Once the clarity has come, what is consciousness? How am I consciousness? Then you will notice it is most obviously present in every experience. In every experience. When we go through that, remember that investigation which we did yesterday in the afternoon, Sakshi Chaitanya, the light which lights up all our perceptions, all our actions, all our thoughts, ideas, memories, emotions. It is called Sakshi, witness consciousness. It is present in every experience. The experience of presence of things and people and actions, the experience of absence of things, people and actions. These are both presented to that one consciousness. If you experience anything, you are experiencing consciousness. What is that experience doing? Every experience reveals to us the object of that experience. And this is the object of my experience. But it manifests automatically consciousness. The object is experienced as the object, but consciousness is manifested as the subject. All the time. Whatever we experience. And most interestingly, if the object is absence, the same consciousness reveals the absence of the object. Yesterday I talked about 4 kinds of absence and so on. They have questions like this. Is the absence of an absence a presence or a new kind of absence? Abhavasya bhava. I remember the philosopher Gerald Larson, an American philosopher, a Sankhya philosopher. So he was very close to Swami Lokeshwarananda ji, who was in our Institute of Culture in Kolkata. So when Swami Lokeshwarananda ji passed away, there was a memorial function for him. And many eminent people spoke at that function. And I heard Professor Gerald, not in the memorial function, later, in another seminar. Professor Larson had come from America to Calcutta to give a talk. But he stood up to give the talk and he mentioned Swami Lokeshwarananda. He says, today we are acutely conscious of the presence of the absence of Swami Lokeshwarananda. Even the absence of Swami Lokeshwarananda is present here. But the presence of anything and the absence of anything is revealed by consciousness. Pratibodha, in every experience, consciousness alone is shining. Now if you look what has been said here, Pratibodha Viditam Matam, all knowledge that we have, all that is known, reveals to us the object of knowledge, this, but also manifests consciousness. Because without that knowledge would not be possible. Again, even more interesting, all that is unknown also manifests consciousness. Because it is to me that is unknown. All that is known, notice the words, all that is known not only by consciousness, but it is known in consciousness. All that is unknown is also unknown in consciousness. What does that mean? I say that, yeah, I know these things, but they are not in consciousness. They are out there, and consciousness goes there like light and reveals them. Is that so? Or is it like a dream? In a dream, I feel I am seeing all of this, but when I wake up, in a dream, it seems I am here and you are there. This is all outside me. But when I wake up, I realize I and you and what was seems to be outside seems to be inside. The whole thing was in my mind, the dreamer's mind. Similarly, the claim here is whatever is experienced in consciousness, whatever is experienced by consciousness is in consciousness. And in fact, the next claim will be it is nothing other than consciousness. So, the point I'm making here is every experience is made possible by consciousness and it manifests consciousness. Exactly in the same way, everything that you see also points back to the eyes which are seeing. In that sense. Although the eyes are never seen directly, although consciousness is never experienced as an object, but everything. And not only that, all that is known by consciousness in consciousness. All that is unknown is unknown to consciousness and it is also in consciousness. Again, this story I've told many times, but this is very useful. This actually happened. Our senior-most member in the Vedanta Society of New York is Bill Conrad. He is 100 years old this year, 100 years old. He's a physicist and a staunch realist. He says, Swami, all this is not true. The world is not in consciousness. The world is outside consciousness. And we come into it as conscious beings and experience the world. This is the realist worldview, the common sense worldview, isn't it? Here's the world. It exists outside consciousness, beyond consciousness. And I come as a conscious being and I experience the world. This is called realism. This is the common sense view. Also the scientific materialist reductionist view. I said, and then he said to me, I can prove it to you, Swami. We will put a camera in this room and we will both leave this room. Even there was nobody else in the room. We will both leave the room and then we will come back into the room and I will show you the pictures in the camera which show an empty room which is existing without any conscious being. So it exists without consciousness. You are not there, I am not there. Room is still there. Picture is showing it. And I said to him, Bill, in your awareness, in your consciousness, you devised this experiment. You put the camera up. In your consciousness, you invited me to go outside the room. In your consciousness, in your awareness, we re-entered the room. In your awareness, we looked at the pictures in the camera. And in your awareness, in your consciousness, we saw a picture of an empty room. At which point did you go out of consciousness? Can you even step outside awareness, step outside consciousness? You can step from the known to the unknown. Things can be unknown, but they are also unknown in consciousness to consciousness. So this is a variation of a question one might ask. All this talk is fine now, but millions of years ago when there were no human beings, no life at all, no conscious being at all, human being or non-conscious, any lower animal or any sentient being, only rocks, planet. For 1 billion years there was nothing, no conscious being. The universe existed long before consciousness. So all this story is you are telling now. But the thing is, this also is being visualized, understood, projected in consciousness. It could entirely be true that there was no living being. We're not against the scientific description of account of reality. There's no living being, no evolved life form. Consciousness could still be there unmanifested. And appearing as, that's the Vedantic idea. Consciousness is appearing as this non-living world, where only existence is appearing as existing things. Then it evolves into, again, organic life forms with more sophisticated brains and nervous systems, where mind becomes more manifest. And in that mind there is a reflected consciousness which now comes to say that I am this sentient being and I am studying Vedanta and all that, and doubts whether consciousness is fundamental or not, and so on and so forth. Let us go deeper. Pratibodha Veditam Matam. What is the Vedantic worldview? The Vedantic worldview is this: universe view, self view, worldview, whatever you call it, is pure consciousness alone appears to itself as the physical universe, the subtle universe, and the causal universe. It alone appears as the individual and as the cosmic. It alone appears and disappears as the presence and absence of everything. At the root, at the foundation of everything is this limitless being consciousness. How do we understand this? The method of in the Mandukya Upanishad of the 3 states of waking, dreaming, deep sleep. Remember one of the analysis which we did yesterday, that I am the 4th Turiyam. What is happening? Right now we are awake. I am here in this body, it's physical. And I of course have a mind and all that, and then I am looking out into a physical world which seems so vast and spread out before me. And there are other beings also here. This is called the waking state. I am the waker and this is the waking state. But then this disappears. I fall asleep. This whole world disappears from my experience. You all disappear. Indeed, my body disappears. This space disappears. This time stream also disappears from my experience. And it's replaced with a virtual world of dreams, which I don't know that it's dreams. It's only after waking up I know they are dreams. And a world of dreams appears. And I am there in my own dream, as a person in the dream. The person in the dream and the dream world appears. And after some time, that disappears also. What appears? Nothing. Deep sleep. Blank. And then what happens? Again this waking world or a dream world appears again. And this is going on. This is the story of 1 day, 2 days, 1 week, 1 month. Panchadashi says years and decades and centuries and eons. This is the story. An experience as a physical experiencer experiencing a physical world. As a mental dreamer experiencing a dream world, a virtual world. And blankness. This is what is called in Vedanta Sthula Sukshma Karana. Physical, subtle and causal. And what Vedanta, and up to this, it's just a description, a labeling of what we all experience. We are not doing any Vedanta here. I'm not telling you anything esoteric or weird or, I don't believe all that. You don't believe that you are awake? You don't believe that you dream? You don't believe that you sleep? Of course. It's just a repetition of our daily experience. But now Vedanta tells us something we don't know. A very simple fact. And these simple facts of Vedanta are very stunning, and yet once they're pointed out, they should be like, oh, that's obvious. Notice what Vedanta points out is, these 3, waking, dreaming, sleeping, you claim all 3. I was awake, I dreamt, I slept, and I'm awake again. And yet you shouldn't be able to claim all 3. You, the waker, right now, this guy, this person, in this body, with this mind, in this world, the whole thing disappears when you are asleep. He said, no, I don't disappear. I'm just lying in my bed. That's from this third person perspective. That's not your experience. That's not our experience. Our experience is this body along with this physical universe, along with this space and this particular time stream, the whole thing passes away from my experience and is replaced by a world of which I later say are dreams. And the dream world also disappears along with the person in the dream. So I should not be able to claim the deep sleep also. Deep sleep is blankness. In the deep sleep, I can't even claim I am sleeping. There's no capacity for doing any of that. And yet, I wake up again in this physical world, in the body, and I claim I slept. I dreamt. How? How are you claiming all 3, the physical, the subtle, and the causal? It's only because you are this pure consciousness, this pure being, which appears in the deep sleep as the blankness, which appears in the dreams as the world of mental fancies and imaginations and as a person in that, experiencing that. and then appears as the physical world. The Vedantic claim is inside out, not outside in. It starts with our experience and then faithfully tracks our experience. Our experience, if you see, I am the subject experiencing all this, is the experience of a waker experiencing a waking world, is of a dreamer experiencing dream worlds, is of deep sleep blankness. All three cycle in and out continuously. On what ground? To whom? To what? It can only be existence awareness. And that existence awareness is the underlying reality, is the gold out of which these three kinds of ornaments are made. The ornament of the necklace, made out of the same gold, the waking state. The ornament of the bracelet, made out of the same gold, the dream state. The ornament of the ring, suppose, made out of the same gold, the deep sleep state. Or if you want to say not ring, let's call the deep sleep state a lump of gold. All three are cycling in and out on one basis, that is gold itself. And the claim is that this consciousness, which is underlying waking, dreaming and sleeping, is not just you, but it's also your world. That consciousness appears as you, the subject, and the objective universe. You, the dreamer, and your dream world. You, the deep sleeper, and the seed-like potential state in the deep sleep. It is both the subject and the object. As Vivekananda said, one only exists, it appears as nature and soul. It is actually one reality. In this waking state, it appears mostly as a physical reality. In the dream state, it appears mostly as a mental reality, a virtual reality. In the deep sleep state, it doesn't appear, blank. According to this Vedanta, this one consciousness alone is the basis, is the underlying, like the gold of the ornaments, is the underlying substance or reality of the physical, of the subtle and of the causal, of the waker and the waking world, of the dreamer and the dream world, of the deep sleeper and the potential deep sleep, the seed-like state in deep sleep. It is the one underlying reality. And therefore, whoever we experience in the waking world, whoever we experience in the dream world, and what we do not experience in the deep sleep, blank. All of that is nothing but consciousness. You, the consciousness. This is the deeper meaning of pratibodha viditam matam. Just as anything we see in the dream, anybody, anything that we see in the dream, any action, any object, any creature that we see, the sky and the earth we see in the dream, is nothing but me, the dreaming mind. Like that. That's an example. The dream is an example. Whatever we come across in this life is you. Be at ease. Even as matter, as physical body, you are part of an ocean of matter. It is the same thing, which is an ocean of mind. Be at ease. You're not just this one mind. You're this entire ocean of mind. And it's the same thing which appears finally or does not appear, which is illumines everything as this ocean of light or consciousness. Vivekananda stresses this again and again. It is one reality, whether you take it as matter, whether you take it as mind, or as pure consciousness, Atman, Brahman. If it is one reality, then as matter, I thought, scientists might say, yeah, I agree with that, it's just matter. So why not stop there? Why go to your pure consciousness, Atman, Brahman? Stop with matter. Well, you can't. You cannot stop with matter and energy and time and space because you can't explain mind there. That's the hard problem of consciousness. That's where we're getting stuck. You can't explain mind if you just stick to matter. Just the brain itself can't explain the mind. I saw a big volume of scientific papers, the irreducible mind. The mind cannot be reduced to brain activity only. So you are forced to go from matter to mind. Why not stop there, mind and matter? That also you cannot do. Because they are such opposites, you must look for something underlying that. Something which is appearing as both mind and matter, as nature and soul. So you are pushed further to pure being, to pure consciousness, to Atman or Brahman. And there finally in non-duality you have completion. This is the meaning of pratibodha viditam matam. This one all-pervading, non-dual, eternal consciousness. And it is non-dual, eternal, all-pervading only with respect to space, time and object. If you accept space, then you, the pure consciousness, is all-pervading in space. But if you accept time, you, the pure consciousness, are eternal with respect to time. If you accept a universe of objects, you, the pure consciousness, are non-dual because they are not second reality apart from you. But apart from space, time, object, you cannot say anything about yourself, about that pure consciousness. All that you can say about yourself is neti, not this, not this. To put it this is all the meaning. We are going deeper and deeper into the exploration of pratibodha viditam matam. Try it for yourself. One Swami put it very beautifully. He says, 3 things you cannot say. Try it, you can't say it. One is, I don't exist. Try it, it will immediately be false. You can never say, I don't exist. So, no, but when I'm dead, somebody might say, when I'm dead. So when you're dead, can you say, I don't exist? The second thing you can never say, I am not aware, I am not conscious. Try saying it. No, when I'm asleep or in anesthesia, well, can you say that I'm not conscious? In anesthesia, you can't. When you are conscious, like this, you can't say that I am not conscious. And when the senses and the mind are put to sleep in anesthesia, at that time, of course, it's not possible to think such thoughts. But you're still conscious. You can't say I am not conscious. And the third one is controversial, it's homework for you. You can never say I am not dear to myself. I am not lovable to myself. I am not a source of joy for myself. You can't say that. Just I, the pure I, not the body, not the mind, not the world. Just that limitless awareness. You can never say I don't exist. You can never say, you can never claim I am not aware. You can never claim I am not lovable or dear to myself. This points to the fact that our pure being, our pure consciousness, our pure bliss is indubitable, incontrovertible. This is the deeper meaning of pratibodha viditam matam. What's the consequence? I'll put it in language of a monk in Hindi. I liked it so much. So what is it all? What is the upshot? What is the final result of all this? He says, I'll tell you in Hindi and then translate. To Mahatma ji, kahin koi mrityu nahi, kahin koi jadata nahi, kahin koi dukh nahi. There is no death anywhere for this enlightened one. This is the end of death. No death anywhere for that person, for that enlightened one. No insentiency, no non-consciousness, no non-knowing for that one. It's ever shining light. And no sorrow or misery anymore for that enlightened one. This is the end to death, end to not knowing or ignorance, and end to sorrow. Effortlessly, done, forever. This is the result. The claim is, this the enlightened one will see this clearly for oneself. But so the claim is that it's actually true for all of us. Even those who are suffering, even those things I'm going from death to death. But one must see this. And the Upanishad says, Iha chedavedit atha satyam asti. If you realize it, iha, in this life, now, realize it now. The door is open right now. Why don't you see it now? It's open right now, right here. If you realize it, atha satyam asti. There is truth, there is reality, there is immortality, there is infinitude for you right now. If I don't realize it, nachediha vedit mahati vinashti. Great is the loss. Devastating is the loss if we do not realize it here. Who knows when we will get another chance, another human birth, another invitation from Swami for the Vedanta retreat. Great is the loss if we do not become enlightened in this life. Iha means in this life, here, in this life. Vedanta is a very much here and now philosophy, here and now teaching.